Okay, so like a lot of people, I did see the Super Mario Brothers teaser trailer. And before anybody says anything, the reason I'm not putting any footage on here right now is I don't want to deal with copyright situations. I know some people are doing their best to avoid that by editing, certain trailer reactions that they do to it, like Black Nerd Comedy, Andre Meadows, Animat, you know, Angry Joe. I know a lot of them are trying their best to work around that, even reverse the picture, put up the fair use warning and everything, or for fair use saying, I should say, to let them know, hey, we're not meaning any harm. I know they're doing a lot of stuff. I'd rather not go through with that. But instead, I'd rather kind of just talk about it, hopefully show you some screenshots of, my impressions of it. And I will say, like everybody has mentioned before me, I truly enjoyed what I saw. Jack Black definitely does a great Bowser. You could hear at the end when he's asking who's going to stop him. You could hear, a lot of Jack Black in there. So it's going to be one of those kind of movies to where you're going to hear distinctly the actors' voices, straight on. There's no avoiding that. But you're going to get a blending, I think, a perfect blending or near perfect blending of them not, from bad editing, but basically jumping back and forth, to, what you would expect the character to sound like and what they sound like, just to kind of create a balance. Like with Mario, people complain about the Chris Pratt voice coming out, but then you hear him say, "Here we come, Mushroom Kingdom," and you hear a little bit of that Brooklyn accent. To me, he's going to try to blend it, in my opinion, to where when he gets surprised by something, he's going to let out that Brooklyn Mario accent more so than I think we could imagine. Because you got to remember, he's in this new world, and he's going to be, just caught off by a lot of these amazing sights or what he encounters and things like that. So you got to expect that. The same with Seth Rogen. When he's going to be voicing Donkey Kong, you can't expect Seth Rogen to be like, ooh, 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 ee, all the time. No. You're going to hear somewhat of a Seth Rogen voice. And I'm not saying it's going to be on par to the Donkey Kong voice we got in Donkey Kong Country, the series, the animated series. But he's going to try to do something that I think is going to sound identical to it, or at least close to that. That's my opinion. But besides that, overall, from what we've seen, animation-wise, it looks gorgeous. You could definitely tell that Nintendo was there with Illumination, step by step, scene by scene, to make sure they got everything, nearly, if not exactly on point with these characters. That Illumination didn't just return and go back to the traditional trope style of animation. They made sure, hey, you're going to do this movie, you're going to do it the way it needs to be done, the way it's going to truly represent, Super Mario Brothers, in the Mario Brothers franchise. So you could definitely tell that Nintendo was with them step by step all the way. You could see that. You could see that, and there's no denying it. I mean, the characters, Bowser's design looks good. Toad's does. The Koopas, the Magic Koopas, I can't think of his name right now, they look good. Mario and Luigi, of course, look good. The Dry Bones look good. The Mushroom Kingdom looks amazing. Bowser's Kingdom, which is like a floating castle, if you will, a la Star Wars or whatever. It kind of reminds me, believe it or not, of Bowser's Stadium in the Mario Brothers, in the Mario baseball series. It reminds me of that, honestly, of that stadium. That's kind of like the final boss in that game. And that after you beat that, you've unlocked all the stadiums to make them playable in exhibition. It kind of reminds me of that. So I'm honestly amazed by how much good detail they put into all these atmospheres, all these environments you're going to see in this movie. And it's amazed. And again, like I said, not just with the characters, but based on those designs alone, you could tell that Nintendo was with them step by step on it. You can definitely tell that. Now, like I said, we did hear Mario's voice, which was Chris's. But again, towards the end when he's saying, Mushroom Kingdom, here we come, you can hear a little bit of that Brooklyn accent in there, which, again, like I said, I think is going to be the same for a lot of the characters. Where they're going to kind of be, like, going back and forth to, what you expect, the actor that's voicing them to sound like, as well as what you expect the character to sound like. And again, I don't think it's going to be because of bad editing. I think it's going to be part of the story. Like, all of a sudden Mario's going to go into that Brooklyn, Mario-like voice, and I could see characters' reactions going like, where did that come from kind of deal. And then maybe Mario explains it's just something that comes out, or just a side of him that comes out when he's in awe or in surprise or whatever. Now, as I mentioned, this is just a teaser trailer. It gives us an idea of what we're in store for. We have yet to hear or see what Peach looks like, because Anna Taylor-Joy is going to be voicing her. We don't know what Donkey Kong sounds like, but we can guess that. We could guess based on how Mario and Luigi and Bowser and the Koopas look right now, and the Penguins from Super Mario 64 look. We can only imagine that these characters are also going to look identical to what you see in the games, if not better. So it's going to be interesting to see and hear what they sound like in the next trailer, which I'm assuming, since we got the trailer now at New York Comic-Con time, I would assume, or the teaser trailer, I would assume the next trailer is going to come in time for New Year's. That's just my opinion. I mean, that's just how it works, too. You get it, it's like, if you get one trailer, a teaser trailer at one of these Comic-Cons or around the time of one of these Comic-Cons, then the next one will be around either the holiday season or the beginning of the new year. And I've got a feeling that the second trailer, the next trailer, the full-on trailer, if you will, that's going to show us everybody, give us more of an idea of what's going on. That trailer is going to be released, like I said, around New Year's, if not around Super Bowl time. So between the beginning of 2023 and the first Sunday of February, which is Super Bowl Sunday, that is when we're going to get the next trailer, the first full-on trailer, to give us an idea of what we're going to be in store for with this film. And it's going to show us everybody, period. It's going to show us everybody, period. Now, the obvious question is, will this get a sequel if it's successful? I would have to say yes. I mean, already the hype is there and everything. The hype is there for the film. So I would assume that, yes, this movie will definitely get a sequel in the near future. It will definitely get a sequel, in my opinion. What that sequel will be about, we do not know. We could already assume and guess what it could be about. But yeah, based on what I'm seeing, I would say we're definitely going to get a sequel. Whether this performs greatly at the box office or it doesn't, yeah, we're definitely going to get a sequel. There's no getting around that. There's no getting around that possibility. We will get a sequel within the next several years after this gets released. So again, I could see that happening. And also the reason I see it happening too is because, okay, you're bringing in Peach, you're bringing in Donkey Kong, you're bringing in Toad, Cranky Kong, Bowser, and all them. That's great. But of course, you're going to be missing out on one person. You're missing out on one person that, of course, or at least one of the people that fans love, and that's Daisy. Fans are going to expect to see Daisy in this film, or at least in this film franchise, if it becomes a film franchise. And it sounds like Nintendo wants to go in that direction after this, with Illumination as their partner. So whether or not that happens, that's up to Nintendo, and I guess the success of this movie, which I definitely guarantee is going to be a box office hit for them. I mean, they're releasing it basically around the beginning of April, which is a good time to do it, and they're releasing it in time for it to be still in theaters when Easter comes around. So yeah, it's definitely, I could say that even though it's at the beginning of April, it's definitely being released at a time to where if it's still in theaters at Easter time, it's going to get picked up by a lot of people. A lot of people are going to enjoy taking their kids to go see this movie, because it's not just something they grew up on, but it's something that the kids are growing up on. And I think based off that alone, it's going to warrant enough of a sequel to be made. In my opinion, it's going to warrant enough of a sequel to be made for this film. It's going to warrant enough of a sequel to be made. There's no doubt. Because again, the Mario franchise is just chock full of characters outside of the ones we're going to see in the movie. So again, one of those characters, of course, is going to be Daisy. And I would not be surprised if we get an end credits and Daisy shows up. So, so that's what I'm looking at. As well as you also got characters like Rosalina, in out there, I should say. So she could be brought in. Again, it's a whole lore, if you will, of characters in in the excuse me, hold on for a sec. In the Mario franchise, that they could really work with. As far as movies are concerned. So yeah, they got they got a whole lineup of characters. They got a whole lineup of characters they can bring into the forefront, if you will, and what's the word I'm looking for? Just really give them a new life, if you will. Give them a new life, some new kind of I wouldn't say redesign, but kind of like a new touch-up makeover, if you will, in the process. So yeah, if a sequel does happen, I do see it happening, based on not just this hype right now and everything for this film, but based on most definitely the success it's going to have. I could definitely see a sequel happening, and I could see it happening not just because of the success of the film, the hype the film's getting and all that. Even if the film doesn't perform in the way Illumination and Nintendo would want, I could see it happening because, like I said, you got a whole lore and lineup and peripheral worth of characters in the Mario franchise to work with. You do. Like I said, you got Daisy, you got Rosalina, you got Toadette, you got Goombas and stuff. What else do you have? You have Yoshi. The list could go on. You got Candy Kong, you got Diddy Kong, you got Dixie Kong. I mean, again, it's just a peripheral of characters, that they could utilize in the future. And this, of course, can lead to other animated films based on Nintendo franchises to become a reality through Illumination. Like I said, Nintendo's going to work with them, apparently, as their animation source, as well as create their own animation studio, learn from what getting from Illumination, create their own animation studio as a result of that, and we're going to get films like that too. So even if they don't last long with Illumination, they have their own studio to fall back on. And again, if this movie is a success, the sky's the limit. I mean, not only would you get a Mario Brothers sequel, or maybe a Luigi's Mansion spin-off, or whatever, maybe even a spin-off of Peach and Daisy, who knows? But you could also get things like Legend of Zelda. You can get a Donkey Kong movie spin-off out of this, You can get those kind of movies. You can get an F-Zero movie. You can get a Star Fox movie. I mean, I mean, the possibilities are endless, and it all depends on the success of this film, which I can already tell you is going to be a huge hit with everybody. There's no doubt. I mean, the timing, like I said, is perfect. You know, beginning of April, going around Easter time, you couldn't ask for a better opportunity. But yeah, I thought like I said, I thought the animation was good. You know, in the teaser trailer, you know, for the atmosphere, the design, you know, the atmosphere and the designs of the castles, the kingdoms, the characters, the voices. I know people are iffy at, but I think if you give it time, you'll get used to it. And also, I think it's kind of one of those situations where the characters are going to go into the character accents or the character voices when they're in shock or something like that. So, I'm okay with it because I think I think that's where we're heading. I think that's where we're heading, but that's really all I can say. So until next time, guys, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Comment if you like. Love to hear from each and every one of you. Live chat during the premiere. Like the video. Super chat, super stickers are open during the live chat. Super thanks after the premiere of the audio video. Find me at patreon.com at bwroses with the $1, $3 tier. At Cash App at bwroses98. Venmo at Brian-Wilmer-2. At Vimo at bwroses. At my Teespring store as well, and at BW Roses Discussions, all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Are you looking forward to this movie? How do you feel about the animation and the character voices? And until next time, I'm out.